To the MCA Sales Formula free web class. So what we're going to be going over in this video is basically everything that you need to know about the sales formula and making sales online. So basically we want to make sales by working smarter, not harder. That's going to be the pinpoint of this whole entire web class. And if you'd like better results, if you would like to, I know that this web class is only going to be temporary. So I want you guys to take notes as much as you possibly can. And if you stick with me until the end, you'll be able to claim your free content just as I promised. And I hope that you guys get so much value out of this. I want to start by introducing myself. My name is Colin Rowe, fellow business owner and public speaker. So I'm in MCA. I've been in here for a while now. I also do public speaking as well as, promoting my new training classes. As far as, the business goes, I'm actually been invited to the 40th business show in Britain. That's going to be at the British Excel. And that's November 13th through the 14th. And I'm totally humbled to be able to go to that. And it's actually, a step forward. And it just, I just want to let you know that I'm not training you on things that I have found or things that I've read about. I'm actually training you on things that I use every single day. These are real world tactics that work and they're universal. So even though that this is an MCA webinar, this will work for any business. So if you're not an MCA and you're watching this webinar, this is for you. Okay, so let's talk about the goal. So my goal here is to give you the correct formula to apply for yourself and start making success with MCA just as well as your fellow earners. Okay, so I know that there's a lot of people making money with MCA right now, and it may be, enticing or influencing to you if you're not really making that many sales or you're not making as many sales as you would want to be making. So basically, I want to go over the struggles that most business owners face. And this is you if you're not making sales or getting efficient leads into your business that convert into sales. So, capturing lead information, content control, credibility, posture, and retargeting. All of these are the most important aspects whenever it comes to marketing your business. And if you market efficiently, you will sell efficiently. Most people are money hungry, right? They want to make that sale right now, but that isn't the way it works. You have to have brand awareness. You have to self-brand yourself. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later with, all of the different types of tactics inside of sales formula and all of the components that you need to put it all together. So we're going to talk in depth about each one of these points, and I'm going to jump into that right now. So without any more being said, we're going to jump straight into capturing lead info. So information capture and why it is necessary. Okay. So most entrepreneurs fail at this step because they don't feel like they need, information from the client. And the thing is, whenever you're inside of another company, or if you're entering in or opting in or registering in this case for some sort of activity, then you're always giving your information. That's the point, so that business can have you on file as a client. That is the point. So what we need to know is that information capture allows us to monetize leads and convert them into an audience. So monetizing, basically, it just means putting them in one location, one destination that you can access at any time, giving the leads at your disposal. And this is usually referred to as an address book or a mailing list. And having a mailing list means that you can monitor your audience. So basically, you can watch and compare statistics among the audience to determine who's interested. And this is great because it's like having your own little robot, right? That does everything for you. You can watch what your audience needs. You can see how they feel about certain products, and you can pitch to them the products that they want. So maybe you send out a message to half of your audience and only half of them click. Okay, so only a quarter of your audience are interested in that. So the people that are interested in that, you can go back and retarget them later on in the future, which is great about audience monitoring because, like I said, you can watch and compare the statistics. Number two, it secures a contact. Okay. So this secures, it's basically like business security. So it secures that contact and ensures that we'll be able to contact them later on in the future with more content or more value from our business. And then number three is simultaneous communication. It allows us to broadcast mass messages to an entire group of contacts. So with simultaneous communication, with having a mailing list, you can broadcast to everybody inside of your audience. You no longer have to individually go back and contact each certain person, or maybe you forget about a person, so you've lost them as a client. This will follow up with everybody and broadcast mass messages to an entire group. So a mailing list is something that you really want to look into for your business. Like I said, most entrepreneurs don't have one of these, and that's the problem. They just see something that somebody else is doing and they try to mimic it, and they try to go out there and push their formula or their agenda on these clients, and it never really works because they don't have the infrastructure. And this is where your infrastructure is going to start: having the mailing list, the audience monitoring, securing the contact, and simultaneous communication is going to be the key to following up with your leads, which we'll get to a little bit later on, and you'll see why it is so important. So number two is content control, regulating the information to direct the behavior of a client. Now, this is powerful. Regulating the information to direct the behavior of a client. The reality of content control is the fact that clients make decisions based off of the appeal of your content. Okay, so if your content's not appealing to them, or if you're not giving the correct content or the expensive content, right? The $1 million content right there at the beginning. Okay, if you're not giving them the most important information, they really don't care. They're not going to make the decision to choose you as a brand or as an basically, you have to think about all of the people who don't have good content. You have to look around. Like, content control is not something that entrepreneurs really care about. They see something that they like, and I'm not talking about appeal as in, the look or the idea. I'm talking about the value. I'm talking about the value that you give to the client first, which enables them to make a decision based off of the content. It doesn't have to look good. It has to give them what they want to hear. It has to provide the important information that they need to hear in order to make a purchase. So it's persuasive. Number two, we risk overwhelming the client by revealing too much information at one time. And this is one of the most factors, like most misconcepted, okay, in all of business, because people think that I'm going to go and get a website, okay, and I'm going to send them to this website. Well, the thing is, whenever you send a client to the website, okay, you have to think about yourself whenever you go to a website. Do you go to a website to necessarily look at what the person told you to look at or what the business owners told you to look at? Or do you go to the website assuming, right, that they aren't as professional as they, or there's some sort of doubt or something is happening here? So you want to do more research. You want to make sure that they're legitimate, right? You don't want to invest into any scams. So you start going through all of the different tabs of the website. You start looking at the About Me page. You start looking at, how they got started. You start looking and things that really don't even matter to the product. Okay. So you basically get overwhelmed with all of this information because they're revealing too much to you at one time, rather than showing you the credibility of the product. They're showing you the credibility of their business or of their brand. So you don't want to overwhelm clients, and that's why content control is key. It's also simple to distract a client with options. like we said, talking about the website. If you send a client to a website, they are so easily distracted. We're human beings, right? We have a short attention span. We like to, we like colors. We like to bounce around to different topics. We like to read, okay, about what's going on, the business that we're getting involved with, right? So if you send them to a website, you don't really want them to be distracted. However, they're going to be distracted. You're sending them to the website for one certain reason, and that's probably to back up your claim. And they've honestly not even looked at that. Maybe they looked at it for maybe 4 or 5 seconds, right? Or maybe a minute, but now they're bouncing around your website to see if you're legit or not, kind of like we talked about, and they're distracted and they never get down to the point if you leave it up to them. Okay. So their attention span is decided by the content that they receive in the first 2 minutes. Now, I realize that it's the first 8 seconds that you have to catch a client, but after you catch that client, once you send them that link, you have 2 more minutes to keep the attention span of the client. Otherwise, they're bouncing. If you don't have, appealing information, if you don't have intriguing content, okay, they will not stick around. They will bounce. You'll have a high bounce rate on your website or your system, whatever you use. Okay, you have to realize, even if you're just messaging people on Facebook, sending flyers to them, or mass messages, or maybe you're scripting. Okay, you still have to give that perfect content, the perfect content control in the first 2 minutes. Okay, it has to happen. And then we are also, with content control, able to refine all of the information to the first impression. So the first time that the client sees your offer, all of the most important information is going to be there. Everything that they need to know about the offer or about the service is going to be there for them to basically watch and retain. Okay. So if we have video information, if we have, valuable informational content, maybe some PDF files or just an article, something like that, that's the type of information that we want to put inside of the content control category, because we want to control the content that they see. Like I said, clients make decisions based off of your appeal. So if you have appealing content and you look organized and you look sophisticated, that's what's going to make the client want to purchase from you. Even though you have to be relatable to the client, you still have to be sophisticated with the client so that you don't lose your posture. So this is the difference between somebody bouncing off your website and really giving you the cold shoulder, not really caring about your product, or, leading you on, as opposed to somebody hungry for more information and wanting more from your product or from your service or even from your brand. Okay. So that's content control. And now I want to talk about credibility, the trust factor of a business. Okay. Having the resource and infrastructure to properly approach the client is crucial in gaining trust. And you have to realize that people only purchase from brands that they like and that they trust. It's a proven fact that 90% of Americans alone, make purchases based off of people's recommendations that they like and they trust. So that could be your family members, that could be your grandma, right? It could be your friend, it could be your friend's mom, right? It could be anybody that you trust that recommends a product to you. You're going to want to buy that product. It's just like if your friend goes and buys, an Xbox 20, right? An Xbox 720 or whatever, then you're going to see them playing this Xbox, right? And you're going to want that Xbox. If your friend goes and buys a PS4, you're going to see them playing that PS4 and you're going to want the PS4. It's based off of relationships, because people join people. They don't join opportunities. They want your trust. They want to feel like they can be comfortable with you. If you don't make them feel comfortable, then they're not going to purchase from you. And that's just the trust factor of business. The contents of credibility. Okay, what we need to make people trust us is having value that validates the claim. So inside of people's minds, there's this little thing called doubt, and they doubt you all of the time. And whenever you have the value that backs that up, there's no real, there's no circumstance that they can come up with that they can doubt if you have validation, right? So you always want to have value that backs up your claim. So always have something right there on the front burner ready to send to them, whether it's a file, like we said, or a video that's going to, validate the claim that you made. So if you say that this is what my brand does, in this case, it's MCA. So if this is the roadside assistance that we provide, have a proof video ready to send that person just in case, right? That they don't trust what you're saying, or they ask a crazy question, an off the wall question that you can't really answer, but your video can answer. So you can send that to them right away to validate that claim and kind of keep that bond between you and that client before they start to feel like you're scammy or you're not really legitimate, something like that. And telling them that it's accredited by the Better Business Bureau, they don't care about that. There's a lot of businesses accredited with the Better Business Bureau that doesn't really, conduct good business. So you have to validate the claim that you make. Okay. Number two is details that help your client comprehend the message. So sometimes, which most of the time, confusion is what leads to people not making purchases. So if you've ever had a client confused or not interested, it's most likely because they're confused or they don't understand the full value. So you have to give them details that represent your cause and help them to comprehend the message. Okay. They have to understand what you're talking about and why it's so important that they have it. Okay. Value, value, value. And then number three is having content that is exclusive to your brand. Okay, so if you have the same content that everybody else has had that they may have been approached with a week or a month ago, they're going to feel like everything's all the same. So you want to have content that's exclusive to you. Maybe it's something that you created or something that nobody else is using that only your brand has. Okay, so that whenever you approach your clients, you can actually send them something that is valuable because of your brand, right? Exclusively to you. You never want to use the common content that everybody else is using because that is saturated. That's not going to help you make a sale. It's going to make the client feel like you're just like everyone else. So you have to stand out by having that exclusive content. And then the importance of having credit. Okay. The importance of having credit opens a client up to persuasion. Now, this is what we want. Whenever you give them credibility, they listen. They're like, okay, this is legitimate. I'm all ears, right? So it opens them up to persuasion. And now you can hit them with that perfect sales pitch that's going to get them to purchase every single time. It also eliminates doubtfulness, just like we talked about. Whenever you have credibility, when you validate your claim, when you help them comprehend everything, when you have that exclusive content, it eliminates the doubtfulness that they had coming into the situation. And it also assures the client that the offer is legitimate. And this is one of the main factors, because if they don't think that the offer is legitimate, and like I said, saying that, it's BBB accredited doesn't mean anything to the client. They really don't care. They want to know how it's going to help their lives. Okay. So if they can see that it's a legitimate cause or a legitimate solution to their problem or to, something that's going on in their life, then it assures them that, it's completely legit, and it eliminates that doubtfulness and it opens them up to persuasion. So that was credibility. Now we're going to talk about posture. Okay. Posture is one of the biggest, statements that you can make, honestly, saying that a brand has posture. Okay. Because really that makes or breaks your client, your status in relation to the client's position. Now think about that. You have your client over here who, first of all, thinks that the world revolves around them. That's what you have to understand. And then whenever you come into the situation as a brand, when you come in and ask them to buy a product, or you ask them to, open their mind on your product, then that's when people start to question you. Okay. So this is your status in relation to that position that they have. So they feel like they're on top of the world. And then you come into that situation. Where do you stand? Okay. That has to do with your posture. And we're talking on real world, entities. We're not talking about, just business structure or things that happen in business, right? We're talking about psychology that people actually have, science that's proven facts, the way that our brain works. And whenever a client feels like you are under their position, that's whenever you start losing sales. The approach that you use to present your client is the key factor in your posture. Also, the way that your client perceives you determines whether or not they need you. Okay. So if they perceive you as somebody who may have something that they want, then they're more likely to open up to you and listen to you. If you come off as somebody that they would not want to interact with, or somebody who's aggravating them, they're less likely to look at you as a brand or an established figure. Okay. And that loses all posture. And basically, you have no control of the situation anymore. And they don't want to make the purchase anymore. So you've lost that client. Some misconceptions that are made. I just want to, shed some light on some misconceptions that people use in place of posture. Okay. What you have is greater than what you need. And the major misconception for this is the fact that people think what they need. They think that $80 commission, or as of August 12th, that $35 commission, okay? They always think that having that money is greater than what they have, okay? So basically, you have to stay inside of the mindset that what you have is greater than what the client has. No amount of money, okay, is worth the product that you have, because you can duplicate that money over and over and over. And most people think that if they don't get this money right now, that there's not going to be any money in the future for them with that product. But the thing is, your product basically conveys money, right? And it duplicates it. So you have the option, you have the opportunity to make unlimited money with this product or this service, as opposed to that $180 sale that you're going to make right this moment. So you have to let that sale go sometimes, just to relieve that person, so that you can come back and talk to them later, because you don't want to hinder people. Okay. What you have is greater than what they need or what you need. Okay. So they need you more than you need them. You have to keep that idea. And whenever you have that idea, you keep your posture, because you never make yourself look weak. You never beg the client. Okay. They have to come back to you for more information, because you're not going back to them, right? Because what you have is better. So you always have to remember that. I'm not saying don't follow up with the client. I'm saying that they will need you more if you show them that what you have is greater. Okay. Number two, speaking less to more people. One of the major misconceptions is that people try to convince people. Okay. And that's the problem here, is that people are constantly trying to convince other people and create interest, which you can not do. You can't create interest no matter how hard you try. I don't care who you are or what you can make somebody do something, but you can't make them interested in it. And if they're not interested, they're not getting out their wallets. And you have to understand that it's nothing personal, right? They're just not interested. So you have to find the interest by speaking less to more people. So by speaking less to more people, this means basically, a quick story is this guy going door to door, okay? And he was selling water filters. And these water filters, helped with city water. You could put them on your shower head, you could put them on your sink, and what have you, right? And he would go door to door trying to convince people to buy his product. And he started to realize that that never worked. Okay, nobody was buying his product. Nobody cared about a water filter. And he realized that it was easier to go door to door and just ask a single question about a problem. Okay, so he realized he was wasting his time trying to convince people. And instead, he would go door to door and ask the simple question of, do you have problems with purified city water? Or do you have problems with your city water? Or does city water make your hair dry? And people who would say yes were his clients. Okay. They were the interested prospects. And people who would say no would automatically disqualify themselves, because he's not going to try to convince this person. They're not interested, right? So he's leaving. So that's the way that you got to think about business. Instead of coming in and, giving them a whole script and saying, hey, my business does this, and we got roadside assistance and 100, 100 miles of towing and this and that and the other. Instead of aggravating them, right? Just ask them a simple question. If they're not interested, then they're never going to be interested. You cannot create interest. Okay. They may create interest later on in the future, but it's not right now. So just leave them on the back burner and go on with your day. Okay. Find people who are interested. Don't convince people who aren't. Okay. And then number three is there are more leads to come. The common misconception is people think that they've gained all the leads off the top of the water, and that's all that there is to, have. All right, now they got to go and find something else or a new business or something like that. The thing is that there are always leads. There's 3 billion people on Facebook, and all of those people are potential leads. Okay, you just have to speak less to them. You got to talk to more people saying less. Okay, so if you're talking to 100 people a day, as opposed to talking to 5 people a day, you may get 2 to 3 sales out of those 100 people because of the interest factor, as opposed to speaking to 5 people a day when you may not get any sales or maybe 1 to 2, right? So you're pulling a higher rate with higher numbers as long as you're getting more leads. There's always more leads out there. So forget about the people and forget about the discouragement that you've had so far. Go out there and find more people with different tactics, different routes, and really you have to find all of the interested prospects. Anybody is out there that will listen to your product is interested. Okay, so always remember that there are always more leads to come. There's enough out there for everybody. Number 4 is no doesn't mean no. No means not right now. Most people misconcept the fact that if somebody says no, then they're not interested, they're done, they're unhappy with the product. And the thing is, that's not the case, because people change. Things happen in people's lives that make them need your product later on in the future. So no doesn't mean no, it just means not right now. Okay, that doesn't mean that this person's never going to buy from you. It just means that they're not going to buy from you at this moment in time. So always remember that no never means no. Okay, and why should we have posture in business? What is the point in posture, and why do we use it? Well, number 1 is we're able to maintain our structure. Okay, we have a structure as a business owner. We have this sort of establishment about us that whenever we come to a client, like we said, it's your status in relation to the client's position. So you really have to have that status. You have to have that, business status, having something that they need as opposed to something that they want. So we're able to maintain our structure whenever we maintain our posture, because if we speak less to them and, we go out and we find more leads instead of talking to less people, and what we have is greater than what they need, and we don't listen to no, right? It allows us to maintain that posture, and we're able to, look or be perceived as a higher power over that client, right? And that's what we want, but we don't want to portray that. Okay, so we want that mindset, but we don't want that what's the word? We don't really want to, like I said, portray it to the client. We don't want them to feel that way, but we want them to think it. Okay. So we always have to use posture whenever we're, introducing ourselves to a client or even retargeting a client in the future. Number 2 is it provides that you're confident in your product. Okay. Or it proves that you're confident in your product. So it provides the client with credibility, and basically they see that you're confident in this product. If you're constantly begging people, or if you're constantly trying to convince somebody, they're at that point they're wondering why you have to convince them in order for them to buy the product. Is the product not good enough on its own? That's the question. So whenever you have posture, it proves that you're completely confident in your product and proves that your product stands alone. Okay. Number 3, like we said, it showcases establishment. It shows that you have that infrastructure. It shows that you are a legitimate business owner, that you have the ability, to not need what the client has. What you have is greater than what they have. Like we said, your business stands alone. It does its own thing. You're just the intermediate, right? So you want to be a mediator, you want to be a recommender, as opposed to being a salesy person that comes off and pushes on the client and inflicts a purchase, because that loses posture when you're begging people. And really, we have to pay attention, because all of these main topics right here, these 3 tactics that you have to use, or basically these four tactics that you have to use are all of the main keys in having posture, which is the main key in business. Because when you come to somebody, like we said, whether they like you or they want to learn more from you, this all is about their perception, and it determines whether they need you or not, whether they're going to talk to you again or not. So let's move on to retargeting, reissuing your product to the same interested product or prospect. This is absolutely the most important in business, hands down, the most important. Okay. This is and I know that I've said this before, but this is actually the make or break factor in whether you're getting paid or not. If you're not retargeting people, your sales are walking out the door for a few reasons. So, why retarget people? That's the main question here. Well, number one, people don't retain information the first time that they hear it. So, as humans, we have this thing called, you know, lack of attention. Okay. We do not retain information the first time that we hear it. We don't listen. We don't care. Whatever the case may be, it just doesn't happen. Even though that it may be something that we're interested in, we don't retain that information. So you always want to retarget the client to make sure that they're still not interested. That's the point. We want to retarget them to make sure that they are still standing where they stood before, because like we said before, people change. Okay, things happen in people's lives which make them need your product, and they don't know it unless you retarget them, because they do forget. And our product is only a portion of the client's priority. So nobody's washing their dishes, nobody's, babysitting their kids, or nobody's on their way to work thinking, "Oh, I got to contact that guy back about MCA." MCA is something that I got to get right now, because they don't think that, right? They inside of their head, their priorities are higher. Okay, they're not thinking about security on the road, because they don't think about they're going to break down on the way to work. Right? They're thinking about, where they're going to get coffee from, what gas station they're going to stop at, right? They're not thinking about MCA. So you're at the bottom of their priority list. So you have to retarget them to make sure that they are still not interested, right? So that's the point. You have to follow back up with people. People forget, people don't retain information, people don't care. And it doesn't matter what the case is, you have to follow back up with them to remind them, hey, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. It also creates your credibility, because it makes them feel trustworthy, or makes you feel trustworthy about or toward the client. Okay. So you always want to follow back up. Number three, the funds are not currently present. And most people misconceive this and think that, whenever somebody says this, when they say that they don't have the money right now, or they don't have 40 bucks to spend, oh, they're just lying, or they don't have, they don't have the motivation to do what they need, or whatever the case may be. But the thing is that this is most likely a true statement. Okay. Whenever somebody says that their funds are not currently present, when they don't have that money right now, chances are that's correct. Would you take your last $60 or $70 and spend 40 of it inside of a roadside assistance company that you may or may not need in the future? Right? So you got to think about that. It's a commodity. It's not something that they have to have. Okay. It is security, but it's still a commodity. Okay. And number four, people need time to make decisions. And this is one of the hardest things to succumb to, okay? Is the fact that people take time to make decisions. Because like we talked about earlier, we want that money right now, right? The whole point in selling a product or referring people to MCA is the fact that we're making money, and we want that right now. And we don't want people to take time to make decisions. We want them to make that purchase right away. But you cannot pressure the client, because they have to have time. They have to think about it. So that's something that you have to remember always. Whenever you're contacting clients, you have to retarget them for a reason. It takes 6 to 7 follow-ups before somebody actually makes a purchase. Okay? And that's real. 6 to 7 follow-ups before someone actually makes a purchase. That's a proven marketing fact. And sometimes it takes even 10 follow-ups, right? And a quick story is that one of my buddies in high school, okay? Back in high school, I had a teacher, a social studies teacher, that came to one of my buddies and said, "Hey, I'm going to give you this information. and you're going to remember it until the end of the year. And my buddy was like, I don't think that's going to happen. Right? I'm not very, my memory's not very good. I don't really have, a good remembrance of things that people tell me. Okay. Obviously, my mom has problems with me, right? So he told him 6 times, and that was the magic number. Okay. He told him exactly what he wanted to tell him about the World Series. Something about the Reds in the World Series. I can't remember. But he told him 6 to 7 times. Okay. And by the end of the year, that kid remembered exactly what he said and could repeat it back to him word for word. Not only because you remember it after 6 to 7 times, but you remember it forever. Okay. You'll always remember that person coming back to you that 7th time. Okay. If I come to you one time, okay, you may remember my name or my face, but then I come back to you again and you're starting to get more familiar with me. I come back to you again and you're even more familiar, right? And then by the 7th time, you remember me for the rest of your life. Okay? You can never get me out of your head. Anytime that somebody asks, when was the last time that you were sold something, blah, blah, blah. Well, this guy one time, his name was Colin Rowe, right? And he was selling me this, blah, 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 because you remember that the rest of your entire life. Okay. Believe it or not, it only takes 6 to 7 times. So that's the magic number in business and life and reality. Anything that you can think about, always follow people back up, especially in business. Now, that's everything for the marketing formula. This is the pain of marketing. The marketing formula is the hardest thing to keep intact. Okay. To continuously duplicate every single day. We have to follow the same steps every single time with every individual client. Okay. So every client needs content control. Every client needs, their information captured. They all need content control. They all need provided the correct credibility. Okay. To ensure that that client is going to trust us. Right. And then we have to maintain our posture. We do all this while maintaining our posture and making sure that the client doesn't think of us as weak or spammy or, whatever the case may be, or overwhelming. Okay. And then it also is hard for us to accept that it takes time for the client to make decisions, even after all of that work is put in. And then we got to remember to follow up with each individual lead. And basically, that can get a little bit out of hand, and it leaves for us slacking off and losing sales that just needed another impression because we forget, okay? We forget to follow up with clients. We may not feel like it. We may be lazy. Whatever the case may be, it's hard to do, okay? Makes you want to pull your hair out like this lady, right? So don't leave yourself looking like this lady. Basically, what I'm saying is we have 2 choices as entrepreneurs. We have the choice of being the machine, okay, and tirelessly working inside of our business, duplicating the same process countless times over and over and over and over and over for, multiple different results. Maybe we're not getting what we want. Maybe we have to change, okay? So we also have the choice to allow the machine to work for us, to do all of the work for us with the sales formula so that we don't have to manually work inside of our business. And it kind of relieves us by being able to spend less time in our business and more time on our business, figuring out what we can promote next, as opposed to constantly promoting the same topic over and over and over and over, and basically making limited money. But I want to make you more money with your business in less time. Okay. I want to make this easier for you. And this is some $1 million information that I'm about to give you. Okay. So basically, we have the ability to convert this complicated formula or this strenuous formula into a simple process by the use of duplication. Let me explain this to you. As we spoke, it takes a method to convert sales that is easily neglected. And what I mean by easily neglected is, like I said, it takes time. Okay. It takes ideal. Okay. It takes motivation, mindset to get all of this done and remember to follow up with it. And it's impossible, right? We make mistakes as human beings and we can't follow up with every individual client. Okay. We have to capture the information. We have to control the content, use credibility, use posture, and retarget them. And it doesn't seem like much, but whenever you have 150, when you have 300 clients or maybe 1,000 clients, you got to remember this is 5,000 steps that you have to take with 1,000 clients. This is 500 steps you have to take with 100 clients. So it starts to become strenuous. And then you have to realize that we can't guarantee that this procedure is followed every time. But how can we? Okay. How can we guarantee this? It's simple. All right. Employ the internet's abilities as a tool for our business. Okay. So we hired this guy right here. Forget going out and finding people to help us. Forget an address book. Forget looking for, multiple different programs that are going to help us with booking or keeping up with people, because we can employ the internet to do all of this work for us, the whole entire sales formula. And I want you to allow me to break it down just real quick. And I'm going to show you step by step exactly how you can do this for your business. Okay. So this process contains two tools. Number one is a funnel system, and number two is an autoresponder. With these two tools, you can absolutely crush the game. Okay. You can come in and you can basically, tear the wheels off of the car, right? You don't even have to work anymore. Everybody is missing this step. They're missing this process. And the thing is, whenever you have this process, business becomes easy. And that's when you can start moving into multiple businesses or moving into multiple figure income, because you have a system that works for you, and all you have to do is put the motivation in to actually use it or to actually maintain the system. Okay. So it all consists of 3 simple steps to make this process automatic. And I'm going to uncover these steps, and you're going to be thinking, well, I'm not tech savvy, right? I can't get this for my business. But I want you to bear with me, because I'm going to explain step by step how it works for your business. Okay. For anybody who's not tech savvy, for anybody who doesn't have the right contents, or anybody who doesn't, even if you don't have a computer system, right? Just pay attention simply to this process. So this is the whole entire formula in a nutshell. Okay. This is everything that we just talked about put together in step-by-step strategy. So it starts with advertisements, which attracts leads into your business. Okay. Once you have those leads into your business, they then click on that advertisement into the landing page. The landing page captures their info, and that info will now put them into an mindset. Okay. It will put them into a mindset where they can actually be followed up with later, and they have this ability, okay, to click a call to action. So they're in that mindset of, hey, I have this opportunity sitting in front of me. Now I can click into the call to action. So they get to the message, and then there's another call to action, which allows them to, view more about the product. So basically, in the info capture, we offer them an incentive. We give them, like I said, that mindset, that motivation. They have that incentive to want to learn more. And then they go into the call to action. And when they hit that call to action, it's going to take them to a preamp. This is where you provide the credibility. Okay. The credibility is going to be everything that the client needs to trust you, basically. Once they hit that credibility stage, they're in, right? Now they're ready to hear the sales pitch. Then we take them to the sales page, where this pitch is the offer. It describes everything that there is to know about MCA. It describes to them what they need, what type of information. This is where our content control comes from, and they're able to see all of the most important information at the beginning. And then you have the follow-up message. Of course, the most important part of business is following up with people and actually making that sale, because you don't want to watch your sales walk out the door. So you actually have this follow-up autoresponder that happens automatically from your landing page, so that your message will be automatically sent to finally make that conversion. So let me demonstrate to you in real time, click by click, exactly how this works. So this is a funnel in action, and this is going to be the beginning. This is the most effort that you have to put in as a business owner, believe it or not. Every other step is self-service. It's completely done for you by the client. All you have to do is basically write out your script for your advertisement. Once you have this advertisement written out, all you got to do is connect that link and you're ready to go. They will click that link right there, that blue link, and they will get to the landing page. Once they hit this landing page, they can click the let me know call to action button, which sends straight to their messenger. And I just want to say that Messenger has a 67% higher open rate than email. You've probably heard of funneling before, but the thing is, this has a 67% higher open rate than most of the platforms that you've heard of or that you may have used before. So basically, you're getting more open rate, okay? A higher open rate, I mean, and you're getting more clients seeing your business sophisticated, okay? That opens them up. And then they get this message, which is even higher sophistication. They see that you have establishment, and it's, it sends them the message automatically. So, and now they're opted in. You've captured all of their information, all their Facebook information. You can retarget them at any time on Facebook, and then they hit reserve seat, right? Or whatever your button may be. And then from there, they click that and they go straight into the preamp, which shows them, another call to action, or it shows them a better value statement, right? So how we make so much money online, your value awaits, find out how you can turn motive into money. So that gives them kind of that assurance statement, okay? And then from there, they hit the sales page. The sales page pitches them everything that they need to know about the opportunity in order to join, and it makes them feel like it needs to be immediate, right? So they start to feel like they have this opportunity and it's once in a lifetime. So once they see this page, they're basically halfway there. Now, they're not going to make a purchase right then. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to follow up with them. And this system creates beautiful follow-up messages that your clients can see immediately. Your whole entire client base can be broadcasted to immediately. Okay, with a call to action to get started now. If they click that call to action button, which we don't promise that they're going to click in the very beginning, but whenever we follow them up, by the 7th time, they will remember who we are. They'll know who we are. We will be a trusted source. And finally, they'll click that button eventually, right? It has to happen. Unless they're not interested, then they're going to go on about their day. However, if they are interested, then they're clicking that button and it's going to take them straight into the TVC link. So let's recap real quick. We basically have multiple different pages here, right? They go from the advertisement where the link is involved. They click the link and go straight to the landing page. From the landing page, they hit the messenger, which is great, right? Because there's a higher open rate in Messenger. So we opt them into our Messenger list by them clicking that button right there. They send the message to Messenger, reserve the seat, and then we show them more value. Afterwards, we send them straight into the sales page where they're pitched the whole sales formula, or not the formula, but the sales pitch. And then we move them into the follow-up category where we now follow up with them every single time. So from this point right here, you do no more work, okay? All you have to do is configure this advertisement. The client does this work here, okay? They click on their own. They click their own activation here, okay? They activate this sequence. They click this on their own. They get here on their own. You don't even have to be there, okay? And then the follow-up autoresponder happens for you. So everything that you just seen is complete automation past the advertisement, and then they hit that TVC link from your call to action and your follow-up messages. So you can have as many follow-up messages as you want, and you can broadcast them to the whole entire audience as many times as you want. And then once they click that link, of course, they're going to make the purchase now or later or whatever the case may be. Now, how to set this up for your business. Okay, setting this up for you so that you can be on complete automation and you don't have to worry about your clients, or not having the right credibility or pitching the right sale to the client, right? So basically, all you need to get started is having the advertisements, which I'm going to provide for you completely free by sticking with me till the end of this webinar. And number two is having a Facebook account. That's all you need to get this started. And number three is having the funnel system itself. Okay. So if you have the advertisements, which I'm going to give you completely free, you have a free Facebook account and you have a free funnel system, you can get started using this method or this system right away. All you have to do is configure your post, okay, by putting the link inside of your advertisement on your preferred platform. It does not have to be Facebook. Even though that we bring people back to Facebook Messenger, that does not mean we have to use Facebook for advertisements. So it doesn't defer your preferred platform right now. Whatever you use is perfectly fine, whether it's Craigslist or Instagram. All you have to do is connect that link inside of your advertisement, just like so. It literally takes a copy paste method to get this whole entire system set up and all of these features functioning inside of your business. Okay, so you post this link right here and it's all, the rest is done for you. Self-service program. All you have to do is post the advertisement. Now, where do we find a funnel? Most brands require you to build your own funnel and charge anywhere from $100 to $200 a month, and even more in this case. Okay, so I have just two examples here. I got ClickFunnels, which is $97 a month. And then if you want the better trial, it's $297 a month, which is completely outrageous. But then we move over here to Entrepoint, whose basic package is $79 a month. Their pro package is $297 a month. And then their team package is $597 a month. Outrageous prices, right? So this may be turning you off to get a funnel system, right? But I don't want you to go just yet, okay? Because I have a solution for you. Right now, as we speak, I am offering two different MCA funnel system models. We have the affiliate funnel, okay, where you can bridge affiliates back into your business. Or we also have the benefits funnel in the case that you sell the benefits or the benefits aspect of MCA. Okay, so these are stunning funnels that are going to, and honestly, you don't need a website whenever you have a funnel. You really, honestly, a funnel is better than a website like we talked about earlier because it's one page. We control all of the content that they see. We funnel them down from clients who may not make a purchase down to clients who are willing to go right now just by retargeting them, showing them all the information that they need to know, giving them the most important information right now, showing them what they need to get started. And basically, your autoresponder is included completely free. So we get to follow back up with those clients with this autoresponder completely free. Okay. So it's an amazing opportunity. And honestly, I mean, you've seen the prices, right? It's an amazing opportunity right now for what you can get these funnel systems for. Your price right now is $25. One-time payment. That's not monthly. That's a one-time payment. And this is a limited time offer. Okay. If you click the link to the right of me, or if you're on mobile, it's going to be below me. It should say instant access. Okay. I want you to click that link and go and get your funnel system. Read about the funnels, see how they work. I want you to, pay close attention to the video. I show you step by step exactly, from the client's point of view, what they're going to see, how they're going to use the funnel system in real time, click by click, to basically give you a better outlook on funneling. So I'm not saying, that you have to make this purchase in order to do business. I'm saying that this makes your business easier. I'm saying that you're able to influence clients easier and persuade clients easier with your business with a funnel system. Okay. So you have this funnel and it's just like, making purchases every single day. You make a purchase of $25 almost every single day, if not every week. And that purchase that you make doesn't always give back to you. These funnel systems actually make you money in the case that, you use them properly. All you have to do is have the generation of leads coming into it. And if you're already posting advertisements, all you have to do is post those advertisements and connect the link and get them into your funnel system. So right now, click to the right of me. This is a limited time offer. Whatever the time clock says on the top of, I think it's 2 hours that you have from this point right now to get this offer. Okay. It's completely a limited time. It's not going to be there that much at all. Right. So click the link next to me or click the link below me, get in there, check out the funnel system, see if it's something that you would want for your business. Even if you're not going to make the purchase right now, just see if it's something that you want for your business. And you'll get right now a free setup for immediate use, 6 free advertisements to start generating leads, access to our Inner Circle training group to connect with entrepreneurs and active in the same opportunity, and a free consultation with an agent to walk you through the setup process in person. And for sticking around, I'm going to give you these advertisements. Okay. All you have to do is click the link below me. Okay. Or go ahead and click over there to the instant access button and grab your funnel system, and you will get more advertisements than what I'm giving you completely free right now. So this will help you boost leads into your business. The funnel system will help you close leads with your business, and it will all be on complete automation. Okay, for a $25 one-time fee. I wish I had that opportunity whenever I started. Okay, so I'm giving you guys this opportunity. I've literally exhausted my resources to be able to bring this to you, to allow you to have this content at such a low price, right? And honestly, I would give it to you for free if I was allowed to, right? But I'd be skinned alive. But the point is, you guys want this information. You guys want this valuable content, okay? And if you aren't ready, aren't ready yet, that's okay. Contact me. We'll set up a later date in the future, and you will be grandfathered in. You'll still get the same exact price, okay? Ready to go out the door just for you. And you are awesome. You rock. Thank you for sticking around this long, hanging out with me on the webinar, okay? You are the entrepreneur that I'm looking for. Okay, if you're the type of person that has stuck around this long, you have the motivation to make your success. So why not put it to work? If you're not using funneling, okay, you don't have the control of credibility. You don't have the control over each client, the persuasion. And like I said, I'm not showing you things that I don't use every single day. These are things that work for me that can work for you as well. Okay. And basically, I want you to be successful as well. That's why I'm offering it at such a low price. I could tack a $300 one-time payment on this, right? But that's opposed to having, genuine clients, or having genuine systems that you can give to your clients to prove to them, that this is something legitimate that actually works. And I want you guys to experience that value at an affordable price. So go over there, get your funnel system right now. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I bring content just like this all the time. I bring value just like this all of the time. And sometimes, I even go in depth and do polls and figure out what you guys want so that I can bring you the exact content that you're looking for, maybe in training or in webinars, whatever the case may be. So hit that subscribe button, stick around with me, and get that funnel system. Get instant access to automation for your business, and I'll see you guys around. Like I said, thank you for sticking around this long, and you guys rock. So be careful out there, and always tune back in the future.